which says the child is on the autism spectrum. It is a serious lifelong neurodevelopmental disability. You start doing everything for them, secretly hoping and wishing someday they will start doing on their own. Let me do it for him until he learns on his own, which will never happen because you're not creating an opportunity. How much help to give and when to stop? You have to give the help when the child is the same age as another kid who would need help without autism. A very warm welcome to all of you. Hi, Rajni here from Sashakt Empowering Lives. Yet another time with yet another video. So, what are we going to talk about today? But before that, all of you who are seeing me for the first time, coming to our channel here first time, as I said, my name is Rajni. I'm a special educator, 17 years work experience now, almost going to be 18. The year is ending. And proud mother, two boys actually. The elder one on the autism spectrum, who's 21 years old and is an independent working professional now. Also, 15,000 plus students worldwide. And what we do? We talk about everything related to effective autism parenting. And on this channel, every week, twice a week, I come up and post videos on different aspects of how parents can handle their child's autism effectively so that children grow up to be contributing adults and not just a liability like we've been told for times immemorial. Yeah, the disability model. So here's Rajni doing her bit to prove it to you as a parent that your child is every way bit possible. You need to learn the techniques to make that happen. So, very quickly, let's get started. What is today's topic? Today's topic is how much to help and when to stop. Very important. Guys, the first thing that happens to us when we get a diagnosis is that it scares us as a parent. You have this little bundle of joy, 3-year-old, 2.5-year-old, in your arms, uncontrollable, crying, behaving like a kitten, not connecting with the world, moving here and there, and you have no idea what to do. And you're out of the developmental pediatrician or any developmental psychologist's cabin with a small report which says this child is on the autism spectrum. It is a serious lifelong neurodevelopmental disability. Yeah, that's the word they use. Sharp words that cut us like a knife, literally. Yeah, that sting like nobody's business. And once the sting and the pain subsides a bit, our brain reacts to this in a way that it accepts the word called disability. Yeah, once the brain accepts, well, I have a kid who's born disabled, who will not be able to take it forward. The first thing as a parent instinct, and especially massive damage happens if your child is the first kid. First kid, because you have no idea about parenting. Yeah, you're first time parents. When that happens, oh my god. So now with the kid in your arms, you want to protect the child. You want to do everything that you possibly can for the kid because your child is disabled. That's what the report says, right? Now you start doing everything for them, secretly hoping and wishing someday they will start doing on their own. You go down the negative spiral of behavior, not correction, because correcting behaviors requires you to be the tough mommy or the tough daddy, putting the boundaries. How can you put boundaries on a kid when you know the kid has an issue? Yeah? So if the kid cries too much, you back off. You don't want that to happen. That is the kid's standard way of communicating. Yeah? But because nobody spoke to you like this and they said, oh, it is a disability. Now you don't want anything going more wrong. So you will help and give some more help. agree to the kid when the kid begins to cry and wants a candy. Okay, okay, don't cry, you get a candy. And the kid learns, okay, so if I need a candy, I need to cry so much, the roof comes down. Yeah? And then you say, initially it was only for the candy. It's for everything. Doesn't want to work, doesn't want to go anywhere. In fact, sometimes for no reason will start off. Why? Because for every kind of communication, the child knows one way. Wow! That's all. And now the parent is stuck. Yeah? Similarly, so in other areas. Oh my god, you are bathing the kid, you are brushing the kid. Okay, I don't say don't bathe a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old. Anybody will do that with any kid, irrespective of the word called autism. Autism or no autism. We all will bathe our 3-year-old, 4-year-old. But don't do that for an 8-year-old. Don't wash the bum of a 6-year-old. Don't brush the teeth of a 7-year-old, for heaven's sake, no. Because how much help to give and when to stop is very, very important. If you're continuously giving help to the kid develops something known as prop dependence. But I can't just leave the kid alone also. So it's a very balanced tightrope walk. You cannot move this way or that way. Okay, he will learn on his own when he has to, let him be. No, we can't do that. Yeah, we got to teach. But at the same time, oh, let me do it for him until he learns on his own, which will never happen because it's not creating an opportunity. So, how much help to give and when to stop? You have to give the help when the child is the same age as another kid who would need help without autism, right? You cannot expect a 2.5-year-old to brush his teeth on his own. Obviously, you can't expect that from autistic also. But to expect that a 5-year-old will begin to brush his teeth on his own, that's fair. A neurotypical, regular kid, 5-year-old will brush his teeth. Why not my kid? So the first thing that you need to knock off from your list is disability. It is a neurodevelopmental challenge. Agreed. Things will not happen on their own like they will happen with neurotypical children. Yeah. For neurodiverse children, you will have to teach everything, but you will also have to fade yourself absolutely out of the system slowly. So, for example, if you want them to go and greet people and say, hello, hi, how are you? Yeah, it is not going to happen on its own. And then you continue to wait and the child gets prompt dependent. Unless the mother says, say hi to auntie, child will not say hi to auntie. And you don't even realize when the years pass by from in front of your eyes and it's over. Yeah? And you say it's a 20-year-old boy I have, and the boy will not say hello unless I say hello to auntie. That's because the child got prompt dependent. Too much help. How much help to give and when to stop. Very, very important. You have to only give so much help as is needed for a kid his age. Yeah, you do not expect from an 8-year-old to go board a bus on their own, go to their destination, talk to the. You don't expect that from any 8-year-old. You will do that for the kid. Yeah, but you do expect that from a 16-year-old to be able to board a bus on their own. Any neurotypical will do. So the point here is your goals should be in accordance to the goals of a regular neurotypical and see what is the gap. And then start giving the help and then start fading the help slowly, saying, very good, excellent, you can do this, you did it last time, now you do it, mama will not help. Same way with brushing, bathing, wearing clothes, everything, meeting people, greeting people. So you tell them beforehand, we are going to Sunita auntie's house. You will say hello, I will not remind you. If you don't say hello, Mama's not going to give you this. You need the help of reinforcers. Some beautifully crafted reinforcers. And as you do that, the child learns. And as you trust in the child also likes the fact that you're trusting in the kid and takes the necessary steps. Yeah? So, give as much support as is needed for the kid for their specific age. if they are having a lag as compared to other children their age, please give support, but bear in mind that slowly you need to fade the support. How you will do? Reduce the physical prompt, increase the verbal prompt. Very good, very good. You're doing nice, excellent. Chalo, 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 chalo. Reduce the verbal prompt, increase the gestural prompt. And finally, reduce the gestural prompt, just give expectation setting. You will do this. Mama's watching. I am so proud of you. Go right ahead. You will see over a few days, the child will very gently take the next step, the next leap, and learn the next skill. And for the skill thereafter, you will do the same thing. Like this, you will continue to teach the kid. The basic premise being, whatever a neurotypical can do, my autistic child too, T-O-O, too, can do. Yeah? So, give help, but give limited help and fade it with time. I hope this video was of value to you. If yes, give it a like, subscribe, share it with somebody you think will benefit. Press the bell for notifications so you don't miss anything that we do. And if you want to learn how your kid with autism will do exactly everything that any other kid will do, go to the description, click on the given links. You got links for our masterclass, you got links for our weekly lives, everything that we do. Join the community, learn, empower yourself with new and fresh ideas on how to teach the kid the skill that you want the kid to learn. And see your child progress. May each kid win. On that note, I shall see you next time. Bye-bye.